Hey guys, my name is Chris. Thanks for checking out the video with me today, and we are going to do a much deeper dive in the BMW head-up display. Let's actually start with the steering wheel control so you understand, just a refresh from a video we did prior, as to exactly what your options are. So again, when you press, depending on again the vehicle that you have, if you have three little lines on the right side of the steering wheel, you would press that. That's essentially the mode setting, and in the mode setting you would be able to customize, different content in your curved display. You'd be able to customize the actual layout of the curved display, and finally there are some head-up display adjustments. Now, some of the newer vehicles have a little gear also on the right side of the steering wheel. That is again what you would touch in order to get to the exact same menus. So what we're going to do is we're going to press that, and we are going to go over to head up, and I'm going to show you right now where it says standard view. We're going to go down one, and I'm going to press in. This is the directional view, and what this is going to basically do is it's going to project everything that you would expect to project. So that's navigation information, all that, turn by turn, everything that head-up display to give you, that will still happen here. But the big difference here is when this is active, it's going to display the compass. So you can see the compass in there as well. The compass sort of fades away when you need that critical turn by turn information up there. But until that point in time, this is what you're going to get. So as you're driving around, if you prioritize a compass over anything else, this would really be a great view for you, because you're going to always see the direction that you're traveling as the road bends and all this other stuff. So that's going to be right there, but still a full head-up display, still giving you all the content that you want. For example, if I turn on cruise control, things like that, this car has Driving Assist Pro, so you can see some extra elements going down there in the corner. So everything is active, but it is prioritizing that compass above everything else. So keep that in mind. So we're going to press those three lines again. We're going to go down to the next one, which is called the assisted view. I'm going to press this here, and you can see that this is showing our driver assist settings there. So we're going to press this here again. We're going to go into what's called assisted driving. So now I'm asking for it to not only keep the distance from me in the car in front of me, but also keep me centered in the lane as well. I'm not actually on a road, which is why it's sort of kicking that back. But the point is, the graphic of that line going forward, the road going forward there, and the car, that's now prioritizing that function. So now I'm talking about the driving assist function, and all that stuff is going to go right in front of me. So compass is gone. Now we have driver assist in there, and that's how that's going to work right there. Next is we're going to go down another one, and we're going to be in the sport view. The sport view is an interesting view because no one really knows what those little funky shapes on the top are indicating. So what it's essentially doing is it's showing different combinations of things depending on what's happening. So it can show you RPMs, it can show you shift recommendations and boost indications. It also can show RPM, as I mentioned initially. So if I was to rev the engine a little bit, what you would see is you could see that would increase like there. So the red markers to the center, imagine that being the top end of our RPM area. So if we do this here, that's like moving itself up to 7,000 RPM, if you will. So that's exactly what's happening in that particular view, which I think is pretty interesting. Next thing, as we go down, another one is called the reduced view. This is exactly what you think it is. So the reduced view is going to be limiting the total amount of screen space that is available, that's projected up there. So if you don't want to have all this extra content that pops up there from time to time as needed, you can reduce the total surface area that is visible there, which is pretty cool that you have the ability to do that. So now what I did is I put us back to the standard view. So now I've expanded that amount of space that's up there. Now, Keep in mind, again, this is the default, the standard view, and now I want to show you what happens when I'm in comfort mode, by the way, right now, and this is kind of the default. When I press sport, I want to show you what happens. So now I'm in sport mode. You know, all the lights in the car have turned red. I'm actually in that mode. Now I'm going to press the 3 lines on the right side of my steering wheel, and I'm going to scroll down, and look what happens. Automatically, I am in, actually you can't see that because it's only on the curved display down here. But what it does is it pushes me to the sport view in the head-up display. So depending on the driving mode that you're in, some of these things are linked. And if you don't like it, you can remove the linkage, but it's pretty cool that they have these linkages, which is pretty dynamic. So it automatically pushes you to this view. If you don't like this view in sport, you can always press the 3 lines, scroll up to reduced, or I should say standard. You can definitely drive around in sport mode in the car and have the standard view, but the only difference is, let's put us back to comfort. Now I'm going to put us back to sport. It's going to default to the sport view. Sport mode in the car is going to equal sport view in your head-up display. So that's important to understand. Again, unless you separate that linkage there in your settings, in your head-up display settings in your operating system, this will always happen. So just keep that in mind again. And again, this is showing you the RPMs, possible shift recommendations, boost indications as needed. You'll see this as you're driving, but essentially what you're seeing up there would be the RPMs. So let's put us back into comfort and let's talk about a different driving mode. Let's talk about Eco Pro or efficient mode, depending on which model you have. We're calling it 2 different things, but it does the same thing. So once we go into that efficient mode, so let's call it Eco Pro for this video. Once we go into Eco Pro, that is automatically going to equal the efficiency trainer inside of your BMW head-up display. So let's talk about what the efficiency trainer is, because that wasn't in the initial list that we just went through. So remember, the sport view was, but the efficiency trainer is not. That is because the efficiency trainer has to be linked to the Eco Pro mode in the car. So the efficiency trainer essentially is a virtual driving coach. And what it's trying to do is help you understand and maximize your range by optimizing your driving style. So the car does this anyway, regardless of if you have a head-up display. But now that you have it, let's say you do have a head-up display, now you have a visual representation in front of you as to what's actually happening. So that visual feedback is going to basically guide you to figure out if you need to accelerate or decelerate in a way that promotes energy efficiency. So again, Eco Pro or the efficient setting is going to automatically trigger this mode unless, again, you sever that connection in your display in the operating system. But it's a pretty cool thing because visually you can see anticipatory driving, whether or not you need to slow down or brake. It's basically going to provide you an efficiency evaluation, helping you maximize your range, which I think is pretty cool. So as you're, increasing and decreasing the speed, and as you're braking, and as you're doing all this stuff, you're going to see those indications in basically that shape that you see in front of you. Things are going to move around and adjust just so you can see how efficient you actually are being. Now, some people may not want to have this entire, head-up display taken over by that shape in the middle. So you can always go up and push yourself to the standard view when you're in Eco Pro. But again, keep in mind, if we go back to comfort mode and then we go back to Eco Pro, it is going to default back just like it did for sport. So again, unless you really don't want to have that stuff and you want to have that disconnected, that is going to be the thing just to keep in mind as to what's going to happen there. So I think that's pretty interesting. So that is a deeper dive as to what's happening up there. Again, so we have the standard view, which is showing you everything that you'd expect to see. Your turn-by-turn navigation, check control messages, music, radio, entertainment, phone calls, everything that you want is going to be up there. Your directional view is going to promote a compass above everything else. Assisted view is going to promote driver assistance functions. Your reduced mode is going to reduce the total amount of space that's going to be taken up. Your efficiency trainer is going to be linked to your Eco Pro setting and basically is your virtual driving coach, basically showing you how to make the most out of your trip and how to be as efficient as possible during your trip. So again, some of those things are coded into the operating system. Some of them are not. So that is why you have a lot of flexibility regarding that, which I think is pretty interesting. I'm going to show you exactly where to go if you want to separate that linkage and if you don't want your sport view to be connected to your sport mode. And if you don't want the efficiency trainer to be linked to Eco Pro. So you're going to go under displays right here. Then you're going to go to head up display. And right where it says show driving content automatically, we are going to toggle that off. And now in this case, it's going to keep you in the standard view. So again, that's not going to bother you. You're not going to have any of those problems, which is ideal if you don't like those things up there. But that is how you can go get around it, which I think is pretty cool. Again, my name is Chris. Hopefully this video has been helpful. Check out the links down below and make sure you're subscribed so you can always stay up to date with the latest content. And as always, stay healthy and safe out there.
Thank you.